When they look at Nicki and they say she's like crazy, like
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj, it's a lot of new females coming into hip hop culture, and she got a position that she has to fight to sustain.
Yeah, they don't let you keep the position.
Yeah, so
yeah,
you got to stay active and do what you got to do. When they look at Nicki and they say she's like crazy, like
she's not faking. She got a really strong personality. If you're hanging around or associating with people that she don't kind of rock with, then she don't rock with you. Right? Whenever a person's on the fence, we put them on the other side. Like if they're on the gate and they're uncertain with whose side, they don't put them over there. Why? Because it's dangerous. It's like you could go, you could say, oh, your girlfriend is here. I'm gonna go holler at her, and you go there and you're all out of pocket now because she's hanging around people that you don't hang out with.
Y'all think 50's a real one for this?
I was prepared to support 50 Cent at any cost. When I heard that Jay-Z had allegedly pressured him to pull the Diddy documentary, I immediately called him and said we could work together to take Jay-Z down. And to that end, I implemented 3 concrete measures to back 50 Cent. First, I personally reached out to several victims who had seen Jay-Z at Diddy's parties, provided legal funding for those who have remained silent for years, hired some of the nation's top attorneys, and encouraged them to come forward, thereby supplying solid evidentiary support for 50 Cent's planned documentary on Jay-Z. Beyond that, I set up an intelligence gathering team that blended in as ordinary members of the public to monitor Jay-Z's movements, tracking him whenever he left his residence, and reporting back to me and 50 Cent in real time so we could respond strategically. In addition, I compiled all the legal agreements and communications between Jay-Z and me, accusing him of taking $7.5 million from my music royalties. And no matter how long the process takes, I am willing to see it through if it means bringing Jay-Z down.
50, are you a bully? And I have asked you this. Never.
Never.
Okay.
I don't pick the fight. I don't start the fight.
It almost seems, okay,
that's
you jump in though. Right.
Jump in. And they said it was a problem, I said no problem. Right. And people see me not have an issue with it. Right. But I don't start the fight.
Who actually starts the fight? So you're the victim.
I'm usually, look, this is why Nicki Minaj looks like such a bad person. Points. Because she's defending her position from the position of being the winner.
So you're defending your position.
Right. Like,
because a lot of times it look like you're the aggressor, but you're not.
I become the aggressor after I'm agitated.
And shout out to 50. Shout out to 50. Congratulations, 50. Proud is an understatement. Proud is an understatement. And if you know, you know. Like, I'm just, yes.
Just say this. Every label passed up on me. Every record company passed up on me. Every crew, you know, like, I'm from New York. Jay's crew and 50's crew didn't sign me. You know, I wasn't signed to Nas, and, you know, or I wasn't signed to anybody, you know.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things that...
I wouldn't want to be Jay-Z right now because 50 Cent has come after him in a way nobody expected. The tension grew quickly after talk started spreading online that Roc Nation might be working on a plan that could leave Nicki Minaj in serious trouble. People claimed the goal was to drain her financially and place her under a restrictive legal arrangement similar to what Wendy Williams went through. What shook fans even more was the idea that 50 Cent may have known about all of this before it reached the public. He was reportedly the one who warned Nicki that certain powerful names in the industry were trying to quietly step in and take control of her money and decisions. The rumor hit the internet like a spark in dry grass. Fans were confused, worried, and trying to piece things together. Nicki added to the tension when she spoke on social media, hinting that people close to her were not as loyal as they appeared. She suggested that hidden motives, secret meetings, and personal attacks were happening behind her back. With all that noise spreading, many people began wondering if Nicki might become the next major star pushed into a system designed to limit her independence. But this wasn't where the story ended. Things soon took an even darker turn. The situation became more disturbing once people began discussing the alleged plan in detail. Some insiders claimed that Roc Nation wanted Nicki labeled with several mental health diagnoses, conditions like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, to make her appear unstable. Once labeled that way, it would be easier to push her into a conservatorship, giving someone else authority over her finances. The idea sounded extreme, but fans pointed out that the entertainment world has a history of using mental health claims to gain control over artists. This is where 50 Cent supposedly stepped in again. He reportedly warned Nicki that if she didn't protect herself legally, she could be left open to manipulation. According to these claims, her marriage to Kenneth Petty became a key factor. In cases like this, being married can act as a shield because the spouse has automatic influence over financial matters. That's why, insiders say, efforts were made to paint Kenneth as irresponsible or dangerous. If the public stopped trusting him, it would be easier to push him aside and leave Nicki without someone legally tied to her who could defend her interests. Fans watching all this unfold started comparing the situation to what happened to Wendy Williams and even Britney Spears. Both were surrounded by people who claimed to be protecting them while actually taking away control of their choices and money. Many felt that the signs around Nicki were similar: public smear attempts, whispers about mental health, and growing distance between her and people who once supported her. Things heated up even more after Nicki appeared on The Breakfast Club. Tension rose during her interaction with Charlemagne and Tasha Kay, and clips from the interview spread rapidly. Almost as soon as it ended, Nicki went online to respond directly. Her posts were sharp, emotional, and very clear. She accused Tasha of trying to fill her place in the industry and said that this wasn't something new, it was something Tasha had wanted for years. Nicki suggested that people were being placed around her intentionally, not to support her, but to push her aside. Her mention of Wendy Williams caught everyone off guard. Nicki had never been close to Wendy, so bringing her into the conversation made people suspicious. Many wondered if Nicki was signaling that something similar could happen to her. Social media blew up with theories, edits, and breakdowns of her posts. Fans examined each sentence, trying to understand the message she was sending. Nicki didn't hold back on Charlemagne either. She reminded everyone of his friendship with Jay-Z and hinted that people with influence were using media platforms to damage artists without making it obvious. She described an ugly side of the industry, one where stars are pushed into corners, their reputations are slowly torn apart, and their lives are steered by people who only want control. The fallout from that interview did more than trend online. It made fans question whether Nicki was exposing something much bigger than personal drama. To many, it looked like she was describing a roadmap used to isolate an artist before taking over their finances. Every post she made seemed to suggest there was more happening behind the scenes than anyone realized. Then Tasha Kay entered the story, and everything intensified again. She is known for dropping insider information, and she claimed that Roc Nation was trying to handle Nicki the same way Wendy Williams had been handled. She said the plan involved planting false stories, attacking Kenneth's character, and making Nicki appear unable to manage her money. According to her, the ultimate goal was to set up a conservatorship managed by people who would benefit from controlling her. Tasha explained that many celebrities who ended up in conservatorships were unmarried at the time, making them easier to isolate. Nicki, however, has a partner who has always defended her, and that alone complicates any attempt to take legal authority away from her. Tasha said this is why so much effort was allegedly directed at damaging Kenneth's public image. The story took another turn when talk about Nicki's finances began spreading online. People started claiming that her former assistant, Kadia, and her old friend Ra Ali had mishandled her accounts. According to these rumors, they had access to important information like her Apple ID, passwords, and even her credit cards. Some of that data reportedly ended up in the hands of people who shouldn't have had it. Fans began reviewing old posts, past arguments, and old screenshots, trying to understand how Nicki's financial records might have been altered. As more people joined the conversation, social media filled with theories about who had been pulling strings behind the scenes. Things escalated when older tweets from Cardi B resurfaced. Fans noticed that she had made jokes weeks earlier about Kenneth being involved in strange financial decisions. At the time, the comments seemed like simple online banter, but now they were being viewed through a different lens. What once felt like playful shade suddenly looked like she had been hinting at something deeper. People began comparing dates, replies, and posts, trying to decide whether Cardi had known something long before the current situation erupted. These posts weren't random. To many fans, they seemed like targeted warnings aimed at the people she believed were behind the trouble. Each video, each caption, and each emoji she posted was studied like a clue. Her timing made the situation feel more intense, and every new update added pressure to the already complicated drama. Kenneth's role also grew more significant. According to viral claims, Roc Nation's goal was to discredit him so that Nicki would be left alone and easier to influence. If he were made to look irresponsible or dangerous, his ability to protect her legally or financially would weaken. Without that support, her independence could be chipped away, giving outsiders more freedom to interfere in her personal and professional life. At this point, the story had grown beyond simple rumors. It became a mix of leaked information, personal disputes, and allegations about industry control. Nobody expected the financial thread of the story to connect so easily with the earlier conversations about conservatorships. And before anyone could settle the confusion, 50 Cent stepped into the picture and shifted the entire situation again. His involvement pushed the tension even higher. 50 Cent is known for speaking bluntly, and this time was no different. He took direct shots at Jay-Z, accusing him of being involved in industry plans that targeted Nicki. Fans immediately saw a pattern, since 50 had been commenting heavily on Diddy's legal issues. Many people online began suggesting that 50 believed Diddy and Jay-Z were tied together in ways the public didn't fully understand. Now, Nicki's situation seemed connected to a much larger story involving several high-profile names. 50 didn't hold back online either. He posted jokes, memes, and edited photos of Jay-Z that spread across social media within minutes. One picture showed a milk jar with a blank label above Jay-Z's face, which sparked thousands of reactions and kept people talking. Then he announced that he planned to release a documentary about Diddy, Jay-Z, and others, claiming it would expose what really happens behind closed doors in the industry. That announcement alone sent fans into a frenzy. Some insiders claimed that 50 had already been speaking to people who used to work closely with Jay-Z, and these sources reportedly confirmed pieces of the story involving Roc Nation and Nicki. While nothing official came out, the claims only added to the growing belief that something serious was happening. Conversations online began tying 50's posts to Nicki's AI videos, her tweets, and her public responses, making the entire situation feel like a complicated puzzle. His posts also opened up discussions about how much power big industry figures hold. Supporters praised him for standing up for Nicki, while others argued that he might be stirring chaos for attention. But regardless of opinion, the impact was huge. 50's involvement forced fans, bloggers, and even casual viewers to take a closer look at what was happening around Nicki. As viewers watch each new twist, they're left with difficult questions. Will Nicki be able to hold on to her independence? Are these plans real or just exaggerated stories? How much danger is she truly in? With every update, fans grow more invested, waiting to see what unfolds next. The story is still developing, and the spotlight on it isn't fading anytime soon.